Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? I would imagine the Saints used the few days off there, not only to heal, but to do a little bit of reflection on how they can improve. As a matter of fact, Dennis Allen met with reporters on Monday and acknowledged situational offense is red zone, different things like that are what they focused on here with these extra days.
When you have a few extra days, it kind of gives you a little bit more opportunity to really, kind of dive into some of the things. I will say from an offensive perspective, situational football, I think, is one thing that it has to be better, because I think, like I said, the last couple of weeks, I feel like I think we move the ball at times, and yet we stall out in the red zone or we're unable to convert third down. So, that's something that we've, kind of taken a look at and figuring out some things that we can do better in those areas.
There are two really significant questions, I think, that everyone wants answered right now, and Dennis Allen got asked one of them on Monday.
Did you determine any substantial changes in coaching staff, personnel, or anything that will be noticed right away?
No. We'll, if we decide to make some changes, we'll let you know.
So, I think everybody's curious. Do you stick with Pete Carmichael? Do you make a change? And as of right now, they're going to stick with what they got. After that loss to Jacksonville, while the team has had more time to heal and sort of self-scout and move forward, it's given us a lot of time as well, us being all of us collectively, to sort of look at and dig into what's going on. And one of the comments from a Jacksonville defender after the Thursday night game, the Saints lost on Thursday, that got the most attention is what safety Rayshon Jenkins said about Derek Carr after the game. And the quote is, quote, "We know that's Derek Carr's game. He's going to check down, check down, check down. We just have to win the game down the field, and that was the mindset of the DBs. We'll let him have the checkdowns. We'll come up, rally, tackle that, and get rid of the shot plays." You got another NFL player and starting NFL safety essentially acknowledging that they all know that your quarterback is a checkdown Charlie. That's just what he does. Many of you probably have seen this by now. I'm sure there's a lot of you who haven't. And I want to reference it just to add some color to a story, a picture that we all see. And it's courtesy of J.T. O'Sullivan. If you don't remember, J.T. O'Sullivan was a former 6th-round pick of the Saints back in 2002. And J.T. O'Sullivan played 13 years of professional football across 11 different NFL teams and multiple other leagues as well. So what he's doing now is a YouTube channel called the QB School. And he essentially does film review from a quarterback's perspective of different quarterbacks. And this week, he did a Week 7 analysis of Derek Carr in the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I will warn you that this might only be good if you're a masochist. This felt like a 43-minute root canal if you're a Saints fan. And if you watch it, which I would highly recommend you do, you'll find yourself just face-palming repeatedly. Because it's a lot of stuff that, to an untrained eye, you know what's happening, but when someone who knows what they're looking at points it out, there's like a ding, a light bulb that goes off, and you realize, yes, that's why what's happening is happening. I pulled a clip, and I understand most of you are listening, not watching. If you're watching, you're going to see, as J.T. O'Sullivan explains this, it's the play that I highlighted is the one where Derek Carr damn near got Foster Moreau killed at the goal line. And if you're watching, you'll see it as he's describing. And if you're just listening, that's fine because you're going to get the gist. Really what I want you is hear the way a veteran quarterback who knows what he's looking at describes what transpired on this play. Give a listen.
First of all, this play is not for me. But if you want to throw more fades or have more fade opportunities, the Saints certainly haven't read about probability. So that's the first part of it. The second part here are the stick routes. Okay, I personally, once you get past JV football, don't love mirrored routes like this in the red zone.
Ooh.
So that's the stick element. And then the check down element is right here. Now, we know we love a good check down. Okay, it looks like Carr goes 1, 2, 3, 4. That's rough.
He's pointing out the progression.
That's rough. And again, I'm not saying that 2 is open on time. I'm not saying that this is nothing about this is good. But going 1, 2, 3, 4 is not great. And it is really fortunate right here that this thing isn't an interception.
Okay,
maybe
that's
you could hang
enough.
on that
That's
stick.
enough. In that 30-second clip, you heard him say, "This play is not for me." Maybe the Saints don't know about probability. Throwing a fade right there in that spot. Once you get past JV football, you stop running routes like this. We know he loves a good check down. Nothing about this is good. You don't have to be watching that clip to hear that and realize, who? And I understand what a lot of you are going to say. You're going to say, well, what does JT O'Sullivan know? He stunk. Okay. But he was a 6th-round pick. He played for the Saints, the Frankfurt Galaxy in NFL Europe, Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers, Frankfurt again, Chicago Bears again, Detroit Lions, the Niners, Bengals, Chargers, Raiders, and then the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL. He played for 15 different organizations. So in his bio, he says, I probably know more about quarterbacks than anybody because I've been in more systems than anybody. When you've been in 15 different organizations, that many coordinators, that many systems, that many concepts, you know what you're looking at over that amount of time. So, yeah, I think he's super valid in the way he describes it. And whether he has the terminology right or wrong or what the Saints do is irrelevant. The point is, time and again, he's describing elementary, fundamental things that a quarterback in year 10 is messing up. And not just a quarterback in year 10, but a quarterback in year 10 who the Saints have $150 million invested in. And that is the heart of the issue. Because a lot of you are going to say, and I got a lot of this over the weekend, hey, is it time to give Jameis a shot? Yeah, sure. But they're not going to. They've got $150 million invested in Derek Carr. They have got to make sure they do everything to maximize the return on that investment. Yo, Russell Wilson in Denver. Take it outside of New Orleans. Russell Wilson in Denver is 5-16 as a starter. They brought in Sean Payton and gave up draft assets to hopefully help maximize Russell Wilson. It ain't working, but they're sticking with it because they've got a ton of cash and draft capital invested in that player. So you got to keep trying. It's where the Saints are right now as well. You are pot committed to Derek Carr. So no, you're not playing Jameis. Maybe he could make you better. It don't matter. The real question is, will the Saints acknowledge this blunder, this expensive blunder, and draft a quarterback this year and start to groom the inevitable replacement? That's the real question that needs to be asked this ownership group and front office. Are you willing to acknowledge this mistake and draft his replacement? Or do you keep trying to force feed this thing? That's not going to work. We'll see. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.